Good morning. It is the request of the Volcano Vista High School administration that we honor and recognize each graduate. Most of you are here today to celebrate the accomplishments of one graduate special to you. Please allow those around you to celebrate their special graduate. We would like to kindly remind you to refrain from excessive cheering and the use of noisemakers so that each graduate's name may be heard and honored by family and friends. Thank you for attending today's commencement and for sharing our commemoration of the academic achievement of the graduating class of 2024. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the class of 2024. Please remain standing for the presentation of colors by the Volcano Vista High School Air Force JROTC under the command of Major Theodore Hartenstein and Senior Master Sergeant Adrian Wineland, and remain standing until the colors have left the floor. Our national anthem will be performed today by the Vivace Varsity Choir under the direction of Joseph Mitchell. Gentlemen, please remove your caps. You may be seated. The class of 2024 would like to extend a special welcome for our honored guests. Please hold your applause until all the guests have been introduced. Please stand when your name is called. District 2 Board Member, Ronalda Tomé Warito. Mark Garcia, Associate Superintendent of Goal 4. Melissa Cedillo, Principal. Manuel Alzaga, Assistant Principal. Justin Griego, Assistant Principal. Robert Earp, Assistant Principal. Arthur Zamora, Assistant Principal. Esmeralda Salcedo, Dean of Students. Brian Colburn, Dean of Students. Anna Galfano, Dean of Students. Superintendent, Scott Elder. 2024 Valedictorian, Kyle Pankratz. 2024 Salutatorian, Ezekiel Henderson. Your 2024 Student Body Officers, Alexandria Lujan, President. Khalili Garcia, Vice President. Owen Salinas, Vice President. Aaron Alvarez, Treasurer. Natalia Dalia, NMASC Liaison. Jiju Fitzgerald, Liaison. Hannah Nguyen, Sergeant at Arms. Han To, Staff Relations Liaison. 2024 Class Officers, Paige Gonterman, President. Eliana Radigan-Hendy, Vice President. Aubrey Baca, Secretary. Gracie Pino, Treasurer. and our distinguished faculty seated with our graduates in their graduation regalia. Our counselors are an important part of a student's lives and play a critical role in helping them get to graduation. They provide students with academic, social emotional, and college and career readiness. Crossroads counselor, Monica Papp. College and career counselor, Pamela Rhodes. 9th and 10th grade counselors, Jacob Pertner and Lauren Deaton. 11th and 12th grade counselors, Valerie Santa Cruz, Claudia Chavez, and Vicky Gonzalez. We would also like to recognize the schools and administrators who helped get the class of 2024 across the stage. Please join me in welcoming Principal of Chamisa Elementary, Heidi Dudley. Principal of Ventana Ranch Elementary, Paula Garcia. Principal of Tierra Antigua Elementary School, Shelby Sanchez. And Principal of Tony Hillerman Middle School, Michelle Armijo. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming your 2024 valedictorian, Kyle Pankratz.
Welcome, family, friends, teachers, staff, and of course, the class of 2024. Congratulations on this monumental accomplishment after roughly 2,240 days of classes, projects, tests, and many, many sleepless nights. We have reached the end of this journey and look forward to the future. Our high school experience has been unique. Our high school journey began unlike any other class before or since. I'm sure that we remember waking up on our first day of freshman year, rolling out of bed, and while still in our pajamas, opening our Chromebook, joining a Google Meet, then promptly falling back asleep. We began our classes with our teachers and classmates and spent days, weeks, and months looking at colored dots with letters in them and being told to turn on our cameras, which we never did. After an entire year of virtual learning, for our sophomore year, we were finally able to go to school in person to have what most considered to be a normal high school experience. Finally, we were going to high school and could see each other's faces, at least the top half. Masks, along with the close contact restrictions, led to continued unexpected difficulties and throughout the year. This, along with the usual stress that comes from school, caused this year to be significantly more challenging. Thankfully, our next 2 years of high school occurred without major worldwide difficulties, though not without stress. Now, as we are here at the end of our high school journey, we look back at the challenges that we have overcome. Brought about by the global pandemic, we learned that we can persevere through difficult times and come out on the other side stronger and better than before. I have learned through my life that it must needs be there be opposition in all things. All of us experience various kinds of opposition that test us. Some very great, some are minor, some are continuous, and some are mere episodes. None of us exempt. Opposition permits us to grow. Our challenges, though difficult, allow us to improve and become the best versions of ourselves. On the bright side, we don't have to face these difficulties alone. We have friends and family that will help us when our challenges overwhelm us. Today, we can be grateful for the opposition that we have faced and for those who have helped us along the way. We have parents, grandparents, family, friends, coaches, teachers, and others that have helped us along our paths. We cannot always see the end from the beginning. On that first morning of high school, none of us really knew what opposition we would face throughout our journey and what this day would feel like. And now today, as we stand on the threshold of the unknown, it is natural to feel a mixture of excitement and apprehension. The future may seem daunting, but it's always brimming with endless possibilities. Graduation is not just a destination, it is a stepping stone for an extraordinary journey that lies ahead. Congratulations, the class of 2024.
Thank you, Kyle. Our Vivace Varsity Choir, under the direction of Joseph Mitchell, will now perform the song, Where the Light Begins.
Perhaps it is all
Thank you, Mr. Mitchell. Before we continue, there is a programming note that was missed at our honors and robing ceremony. We go through and we talk about all the different chords and stoles that students earn in their senior year, and we missed one. That was the kente cloth for our BSU students. So will all students who were awarded a kente cloth please stand? Thank you. At this time, I'd like to welcome Assistant Principal of Curriculum Instruction, Justin Griego.
Congratulations, class of 2024. Board member Tom Warito, the graduates before you have met all the graduation requirements as set forth by the Albuquerque Public Schools Board of Education, along with the New Mexico Public Education Department. To you, I present the class of 2024.
On behalf of the board, on behalf of the Albuquerque Public Schools Board of Education, we accept the graduating class of Volcano Vista High School 2024.
All right, class of 2024, row one, that's you.
When do I start? Do we just go?
Yeah, they would just start. So they're in order, right? They should be complete.
I'm just gonna wait for Woods.
Yeah.
Okay, let's wait. We're good. I think I just have to say the name, right?
Yeah, you just see that.
And then if they're not here, if they're not there, then they're not there.
Christian Abeta. Gregory Abeta. Angel Acevedo. Anthony Aguilar. Leonardo Aguilar. Emma Aguirre. Alyssa Alarcon. Jocelyn Alvarez Martin. Amaya Alviar. Ayla Alviar. Samira Amiri. Jimena Anchondo. Jude Anderson. Colin Anderson. Sofia Anderson Garcia. David Andolina. Jordan Anyanornu. Diego Apodaca. Diego Apodaca. Rihanna Arguello. Alec Armendariz. Jaylore Armijo. Six Arnold. Tess Arudi. Devin Atencio. Sofia Aviles. Connor Baca. Edward Baca. Isabella Baca. Lucas Baca. Maya Baca.
Janaya is here.
Troy Baldonado. Marius Baldwin. Jaslyn Barella. Wyatt Barker. Victoria Barkley. Christian Barrientos. Gabriela Barton. Haley Bates. Eliseo Bazan. Elijah Beck. Sarah Ballone. Bryson Belt. Carissa Benavides. Ethan Benavides. Isaac Benavides. Lisa Benavides. Madison Bethany. Cadence Billingsley. Michaela Billingsley. Quentin Bisher. Camille Blanks. Adelina Blea. Trinidad Blea. Riley Bogue. Atticus Bowman. Santiago Brainkey. Ethan Breeden. Ariana Brito. Ajane Brown. Elijah Brown. Gabriel Buhanda. Nicole Bustamante. Alicia Cadena. Elise Caffey. Bijou Calderon. Christian Camarena. Carolina Cárdenas. Aiden Cardell. Isabella Carline. Emiliana Caro Sandoval. Jevin Carrillo. Cynthia Leanne Carrillo. Elizabeth Carvin. Isabella Casares. Michael Castillo. Kennedy Castro. Jesse Katnack. Dylan Chapin. Rudy Chapin. Harriet Chapman. Adam Chavez. Annalise Chavez. Diego Chavez. Lilia Chavez. Marissa Chavez. Orion Chavez. Pablo Chavez. Vicente Sosa Lataimi Chavez. Shayla Chi. Paige Childs. Juliana Chino. Zachary Christopher. Isabella Clark. Tate Clark. Zachary Clayton. Connor Cole. Alexandria Coleman. Janaya Coleman. Alexis Colomo. Haley Conde. Indiga Contreras. Jeremiah Cook. Mirna Cordova. Alexander Cosby. Krista Crazy Thunder. Sydney Crum. Celeste Curry. Indy Damon. Wyatt Daniel Peterson. Logan Davison. Chevelle DeClay. Jesse Delgado.
Phoenix Denny. Sarah Denslow. Alejandro de Santos. Diego Diaz. Alexandria Dillard. Lucian Dixon. Gabe Dominguez. Ava Douglas. Jade Dowler. Grace Dukes. Liliana Duncan. Olivia Duquette. Zairo Ion Santos. Abraham Ella. Ethan Ellis. Davian El Sosi. Ian Escondon. Mia Espinosa. Ariana Estrada. Gabriel Estrada. Apollo Figueroa. Aubrey Finnegan. Clara Fisher. Astrid Flores. Todd Flores. Dallas Flowers. Rupert Ford. Isabella Fouts. Samantha Frame. Kendall Frankel. Nicholas Frederickson. Dominic Frias. Mia Frias Chaparro. Mariah Galbodon. Darian Gallegos. Ivy Gallegos. Nathan Gallegos. Colton Galloway. Adriana Garcia. Carolina Garcia. Carolina Garcia. Diego Garcia. Gabriela Garcia. Michael Garcia. Juan Gentry. Timothy Georgia. Caleb Giachi Abraham.
Samuel Camilo Gil.
Samuel Camilo Hill. Alexis Goggin.
Okay, we got Hunter Gonzalez.
Dominic Gonzalez. Adrian Gonzalez. Elijah Gonzalez. Oh, Andrew Gonzalez.
And Angelita Gonzalez. Good job, good job.
Angelita Gonzalez. Benjamin Gonzalez. Josiah Gonzalez. Josiah Gonzalez.
So there's 2 of them that weren't marked. It's weird.
Jasmine Gordon.
At least we caught it right there.
Zoe Gordon. Brennan Grant. Aislinn Granslin. Haley Griego. Noah Griego. Olivia Grobecker. Alyssa Gurle. Adrian Gutierrez.
Oh, really good. Hell yeah.
Andres Gutierrez. Angelica Gutierrez. David Gutierrez. Aaron Gutierrez. Trevor Gutowski. David Hale. Sienna Harrison. Brittany Hawes. Elise Hevelin. Jason Henderson. Haley Hendricks. Tamrin Hernandez. Daniel Hernandez. Alexia Herrera. Tejuan Hill. Taji Olguin. Sky Holt. Ethan Horson. Jocelyn Ibarra. Sadie Ivanovsky. Sana Jafari. Lacey James. Sophia Jeffries.
Jimenez.
Dominic Jimenez.
And then you can just say
Ariel Johnson. Gianna Johnson. Natalie Jones. Caden Joplin. Nicholas Kang. Nicholas Casero. Darian Cascala. John Keyswood. Isaiah King. Hayden Kozaliski. Maxwell Kress. Anastasia Kubiak. Josiah Lacour. Akira Lassiter. Mason Laughlin. Aaron Lagarda. Nathan Lemasters. Jacqueline Leon. Hallie Lillywhite. Whitney Linneruth. Mariah Little. Ernesto Loretta. Aiden Lopez. Anthony Lopez. Anthony Lopez. Dylan Lopez. Latanya Lopez. Eric Lovato. Ava Lazoya. Alia Lucero. Jada Lucero. Marissa Lucero. Victoria Lucero. Angelo Lucero Leon. Sienna Lugo. James Lynch.
Dominic Mays. Jason Maestas. Aiden Malloy. Kai Mankel. Lauren Manuelito. Elijah Mares. Jonathan Mares. Jordan Mares. Isaiah Marino. Zachary Markham. Elijah Marquez. Jasmine Marquez. Maya Marquez. Adria Martinez. Antonio Martinez. Cadence Martinez. Hunter Martinez. Oliver Martinez. Sofia Martinez. Alexis Massey. Stephen Matekovic. Madison Matsu. Andre McCary. Lindsay McCoy. Ty McCoy. Brian McCraw Kerr. Jordan McDonald. Leandra McDonald. Aaron Medina. Cameron Kiana Thompson Medina. Sandy Medina. Sofia Medrano. Manuel Melchor. Jordan Melick. Abriana Melendez. Alfie Meller. John Miaris. Ava Jane Priscilla Minnick Lujan. Janina Monasterio. Alexi Mondragon Hill. Lucas Montes. Matthew Montano. Anaí Montoya. Emily Montoya. Julian Montoya. Caden Montoya. Michaela Montoya.
We're on Michaela too.
Michaela Montoya. Daniela Montoya Garcia. Abriana Montoya Holly. Julian Mora. Richard Mora. Dylan Morales. Amelia Moran. Malachi Morrow. Ariel Moriosef. Morgan Moses. Robert Munoz. Malia Nanez. Candice Navarrete. Charlie Neal. AJ Navarez. Sabrina Niazi. Tyler Nygren. Jacqueline Ogaz. Julian Ombao. Vaughn Ortega. Ezekiah Ortiz. Faith Ortiz. Jaden Ortiz. Alora Osborne. Amelia Osborne. Ernesto Pacheco. Angelo Padilla. Abriela Padilla. Dakota Padilla. Joseph Padilla. Trinity Padilla. Please do not do any more backflips. Thank you very much. Please and thank you. Ava Parker. Tomás Partido. Anthony Petzik. Bradley Perea. Jaden Perea. Addison Perez. Ronnie Perez Aguilera. Sharon Perez Martinez. Malayla Peters. Cyrus Fares Marquez. Annalise Pyre.
The next person just goes by Kai.
Kai Pickett. Gabriel Pina. Raven Porras. Jonah Powell. Grayson Preston. Samantha Proctor. Eli Quintana. Roman Rains. Bianca Ramirez. Brianna Ramirez. Brock Ramirez. Chris Ramos. Zalyn Reed. Aurelia Reinertson. Catrice Ranke. Reese Ranke. Kayla Reynolds. Penelope Rhodes. Elise Richter. Samuel Rinderknecht. Alexa Rios Ari. Chelsea Rivera. Kylie Rivera. Sophia Robeson. Angelis Rodriguez. Esteban Rodriguez. Samantha Rodriguez.
Sierra Romero. Jaden Romero. Kristen Romero. Mason Romero. Javier Romero. Destiny Rosales. Mia Roybal. Melody Rudolfo. Nathaniel Rule. Gabriela Rudinger Lavato. Donovan Saavedra. Asher Sabin. Jacqueline Saenz Hernandez. Valerissa Salas. Kayla Salazar. Dante Salim. Mia Salinas. Jace Saline. Alicia Sanchez. Cruz Sanchez. Jaden Sanchez. Montana Sanchez. Nathaniel Sanchez. Crescenciano Sandoval. Alexis Santianes. Juliana Saracena Montoya. David Cedillo. Felicity Seegers Halsey. Austin Seek Thoops. Natalie Seiler. Marisa Sena. Jalen Shanks. Derek Shepard Jr. Ashley Simpkins. Akash Singh. Jason Smith. Davon Smith. Caitlin Smith. Noah Smith. Samuel Sowens. Jimena Solis Chavez. Sebastian Sosa. Jaden Soto. Henry Spencer. Jolene St. Lawrence. Tyler Stake. Kevin Staley. Caroline Stamper. Andrew Stepien. Olivia Stinson. Aubrey Stockmar. Brooklyn Stokes Galoris. Nicholas Stoltenberg. Maya Stout. Tyler Stewart. Sierra Suazo. JC Tartar. Cheyenne Thomas. Kylie Thurman. Jason Tinlin. Landon Todd. Eva Torres. Maya Torres. Nevea Torres. Harrison Toulouse. Kayla Townsley. Jaden Tran. Kaylin Tripp. Alexandria Trujillo. Daniel Trujillo. Estrella Trujillo. Bailey Tushoff. Jariah Udero. Leah Ilabari. Elena Valdez. Christiana Valdez. Isabella Valdez. Janae Valdez. Kayla Valdez. Ulysses Valdez. Alexander Valdo. Antonia Valencia. Oh, Antonio Valencia. Sofia Valencia. Cesar Valles. Kian Vanderbilt. Paris Vargas. Leilani Vargas Olaire. Dominic Velasquez. Virginia Villalobos Flores. Abigail Vraybeck. Damian Wagner. Cleo Waldman. Nevea War. Evan Watts. Sincere Wah. Caden Weber. Troy Weinheimer. Jada Welsh. Thomas Whitelow. Bailey Winters. Phoenix Woolcott. Nova Woolcott. Hiram Jorgensen. Brian Zajac. Kiara Zamora. Dominic Zavala. Zachary Zyblit. Mabel Zender. Aaron Alvarez. Aubrey Baca. Natalia Dalia. Jiju Fitzgerald. Kalili Garcia. Paige Gonterman.
You said Alejandria Lujan?
Alexandria Lujan.
Okay, we got Hannah Wing.
Hannah Wing. Gracie Pino. Ileana Radigan.
Salinas.
Owen Salinas.
Here's your time to shine. Oh, yeah.
Toya Hung. Ezekiel Henderson.
And then Kyle Pickett.
Kyle Pankratz.
Nice. Good job, team. Pretty much perfect.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Owen Salinas.
Good morning to the graduating class of 2024. I'd like to thank your friends, families, loved ones for being able to share this amazing accomplishment with us today. Our final hurrah, graduation. This is everything we've worked towards, and it's finally paying off. But first, as many of you may know, my name is Owen Salinas, and it has been an honor to serve as your student body second vice president this year. I am grateful for the opportunity I had. It only goes to prove that it doesn't take a big guy to do big things. Seniors, I know you've all heard this already, but congratulations on making it to the end. What a huge milestone for us. But within all this excitement, there's a part of me that thinks, I'm not ready, that thinks that I'm scared or even that I shouldn't be here. But I'm looking into the crowd of hopeful and determined faces, I realize that the other part of me knows I'm right where I need to be. So I'm ready to let go and venture into the next chapter. And as you know, it's been a long time coming. So long that I counted it all. It's been 13 years, 156 months, or 4,748 days. Even after all this time, just being able to walk across this stage in front of everyone who's ever supported us and know that our dedication and tireless efforts were worth all the hard times will be everything I've ever needed. Reassurance that our dark yesterdays will always lead us to brighter tomorrows. And I'll admit, I always thought graduation was going to be terrifying. Leaving the nest and having to spread our wings to fly away from home is not an easy thing to have to do. Having to grow up is tough. But the craziest thing is that I'm not really scared anymore. If anything, I'm ready. We've spent so much time waiting for this exact moment. Why wouldn't we be ready? We are all about to start our lives, chase our dreams, and do everything we've ever wanted to. I think that alone is pretty neat. On top of that, being ready and putting in your own effort, it is important to remember how we got here, or better yet, who got us here. It is the people that tied our shoes, spent nights at the table helping us with our math homework, and gave their unconditional love to us every second of our lives. To all the moms, dads, grandparents, and guardians, thank you. You've raised wonderful graduates who will change the world for the better leaving here today. There are two people very important in this room who I'd like to take a moment to thank directly. Dad, you've taught me the value of hard work and what it means to take pride in what I do. Mom, you've taught me to chase after my dreams, no matter how big or small, and together you've taught me how to unapologetically live myself. Thank you both for everything you've done to me to get me here today. All my achievements, all my struggles, all my victories that have led me to this moment, I dedicate them and this speech to you. But graduates, it's our time to grow up. And the cool thing about that is the fact that we get to decide who we become. It's our life to control. And boy, let me tell you, it went by fast, just like our parents said it would. So I hope with all my heart that each one of you cherishes these precious moments. Unfortunately, there is a universal truth we have to face. Whether we want to or not, everything eventually ends. And as much as I've looked forward to this day, I've always disliked endings. The last day of summer, the final season of my favorite show, or the last bell we heard on campus that ended our senior years. Yes, it hurts. Endings are inevitable, but guess what? They only mean there's a new beginning right around the corner. Today is one of those lucky days for all of us. Today, as we say our goodbyes, I want us all to try to remember how lucky we are to have something that makes it so hard to say goodbye. So finally, in the sung words of Billie Eilish, what was I made for? Because I don't know how to feel, but someday I might. Thank you and congratulations to the class of 2024. We did it!
(2024) First Vice President, Khalili Garcia.
Fellow graduates, esteemed faculty, beloved family and friends, and honored guests. It's the day we've all either dreaded or been looking forward to. Either way, it's finally here. We spent the last 4 years driving the same route to school and seeing the same people and gave the same answer to our parents about when they asked how our day was. Although some of those things might stay the same, a lot of other things are about to change indefinitely. The idea of change is scary, but it's inevitable. Through this change is where we find growth and progress in ourselves. As we are challenged to adapt and embrace the unfamiliar, we emerge as more well-rounded individuals ready to face the upcoming world ahead. This road may not be what we expect, but it is a chance to make the most out of any situation and be proud of the people we become. Surround yourself with the ones who make the future look not so scary and provide support. I encourage you to take a moment and recognize those people that helped you grow into the person you are today. So, to my family, who have always been there to watch me shine. Mom, Dad, Javen, and Mila, you're my best friends and my biggest supporters. I love you guys to the moon and to Saturn. Although our journey together has come to an end, it is truly just the beginning. In the wise words of Taylor Swift, the scary news is you're on your own now, but the cool news is you're on your own now. There is so much possibility out there, so my hope for all of us is that we find those moments that make this life worth living. Congratulations, class of 2024.
Student Body President, Alexandria Lujan.
Good morning, graduates, parents, grandparents, faculty, and unhappy siblings forced to sit through this incredibly long ceremony. It is an honor to stand before you on such a momentous occasion. Many people say that today is the day that we start our journey. I disagree. Today just happens to be the day where the path we have all been traveling on together splits into 475 unique roads. Up until now, we have been a team, walking as one, experiencing challenges as one, and now graduating as one. We have overcome some huge obstacles together. A pandemic of devious licks our sophomore year, a pandemic of bad parking, sleeping, and bathroom shoe Instagram accounts, and a pandemic of bus change time announcements at the end of every school day. Oh yeah, and COVID-19. If there is one thing I've learned from our share of challenges, it is that the challenges you face do not define you, but the way you react to them will. A wise man once said, "Hate has 4 letters, but so does love. Enemies has 7 letters, but so does friends. Lying has 5 letters, but so does truth. Failure has 7 letters, but so does success. Cry has 3 letters, but so does joy. And negativity has 10 letters, but so does positivity. You always have a choice, so choose the better side of it." Today, as we stand on the precipice of a future that is uncertain as it is exciting, I ask one thing from you all. Cherish this moment. Cherish all high school, from happiness to heartbreak. Because while all of our lives are changing, we need to hold on to these memories, because memories are the only things that don't change when everything else does. Although it is important to hold certain things close to you, I also hope that you learn to let go. I hope you learn to let go of everyone's opinions on your life. I hope you start to see from a place that lives deep within you that there is no universally correct way to live a life that is solely your own. Every human being has different goals, has different concepts of what happiness looks like, and has a different vision of what it truly means to be alive. The world will try to change you, but you must continue to move in your own direction. You must continue to go at your own pace. Because if you allow that to alter your path, you're going to end up living someone else's life. I hope you learn how to make your life your own. I hope you learn how to make your time on earth something you could be proud of. I hope you learn how to let go of the comparison that you hold so closely to your chest. Your experience in this world will never be perfect, will never be faultless, but it will be real. It will be honest. I hope you learn how to embrace that. I hope you learn how to let go of your tendency to favor distance over depth. I hope you learn how to remind yourself that there's nothing wrong with vulnerability, with being human, with unhinging your ribcage and sharing your heart with this world. There's beauty to be found in being the person that cares, so care. As I stand here on our graduation day, overflowing with a myriad of emotions, I find myself reflecting on the most significant influences in my life. Mr. Woods, Senior Master Sergeant Wineland, Major Hartenstein, Coach Schrader, Coach B, and Coach Sauce. Thank you for the profound impact you have had on my journey. And thank you, Mr. Samora, for yelling at me to get to class in the hallways every day. Thanks to you, I had a 95% attendance rate because I was running at a 4-minute mile pace away from you to get to class. I owe the biggest thank you to my grandparents, who took on the very challenging task of raising me. From my earliest memories, you have been my guiding stars. You have taught me the value of hard work, the importance of honesty, and the power of kindness. Every late night, every word of encouragement, every sacrifice, I have noticed them all. Your selflessness is something that I will always be grateful for. Today, as I receive my diploma, I want you to know that this isn't just my achievement, it's ours. This milestone is as much a testament to your love and sacrifice as it is to my efforts. Nanny and Papa, thank you. Class of 2024, thank you for the memories, and thank you for allowing me to serve as your student body president. I hope that 10 years from now, you look back on this moment and remember, as always, it's great to be a Hawk. Thank you.
Class of 2024, please stand. As a sign of your high school years coming to an end, will you please move your tassel from the right to the left? Class of 2024, you are dismissed. All right. Yep. Row 1, that's you. Stay in your rows. Remember, stay in your rows to get your diplomas at the corner of Main and Heritage.